can do nothing. That's that verse when he's talking about this vine. And I thought it's kind of like, what does Jesus mean? Like, have you ever noticed like Jesus like parallels himself with other things? Like he always talks to the people like where they're at. I think that's one of the coolest things about Jesus. When he gives these sermons, he doesn't just get up and lecture. No, he meets them where they are. And he uses this stuff to surround them because a lot of people back then knew about vines. They farmed. They were real familiar with the fruit and stuff that came from it. So when he says that I'm the vine, you are the branches, what's he talking about? So we just want to dig a little deeper. And so I think science is such a cool thing. Because something about science, there's a lot of scientists that try to say that God's not real. I think the opposite. I think science very much proves that he's real. And so I love being able to look at it. So when I started thinking about, like, what is a vine? Vines do this really, really cool thing whenever they first come out of a seed. If it's a vine plant, kind of like what we see like on the trellis there, and then are kind of growing up around the stage, when it comes out, there's something it starts to do. It does this thing called twining, which basically means as it comes out of the ground, if you've ever like got on YouTube and watched the videos of like seeds coming out, so you can see it right there. See, it goes around and around and around, and then all of a sudden, you're going to see it, and it's going to grab that piece. And so it's going to continually to go up and around and around. And what's really cool, if you start to notice, as it grabs on, did you notice the leaves kind of perked up? That was kind of something as you see it. It will spin itself around looking for something to hold on to. Because if it doesn't, if these branches, if this vine does not hang on to something, it can't survive. It cannot, it's not going to make fruit. It's not going to, those leaves will kind of start to sag. And it can't be the vine that it was created to be. It won't be the branches that it was made to be. Boys and girls, did you hear that statement? It can't be what it was created to be. And when I think about those words in this verse, I think about what Jesus is telling these disciples, and then what we read as he's sharing this to us when he says that I am the vine, you are the branches. The branches are connected to the vine. They all work together, and these branches, they must go out, and they must cling to something. Y'all, this is us. We've got to be connected to the vine. You can't be what you were made to be. You can't be. God made you to be you how he made you to be. Did you catch that? God made you to be you on how you were made to be. And this is going to be this big theme. Because I love the special gifts that you have. I love the uniqueness. I love the stories that I've heard as I've been like hanging out with you. Like all over the campground and seeing your gifts. And seeing you shine. Some of y'all got some skills. Isn't the guy got ball pit? Or octoball, whichever you call it. Y'all got some mad skills. So we've got some good stuff on the basketball court. Some of y'all can swim so good. Some of y'all make bigger cannonballs than others. Some of y'all are really good at drawing. I saw some of the sketches you made. Hopefully it wasn't while I was teaching. But, I love those gifts, and I want to see you use those gifts, and I want to see you do those gifts, because I want you to glorify God with everything you got. I want you to be what you were made to be. And so when we're talking about like this direction that we're going, we did the compass thing earlier, and when we looked, so it got me thinking that I want to make sure that you understand what were you made to be. So what were you made to be? And I came up with 3 things. That you like these 3 things. Okay? And you're going to like this first one, okay? You're really going to like this. You were made to play. Did you hear that? You were made to play. You were made to be silly. You were made to go out and have fun. You know how I know why? It's in the Bible. Proverbs 8. Even when it talks about the creations, when the waters went up, it swirled. And when it talks about when it swirled, you know what the actual translation for that is? It swirls, but guess what it also meant? Twirled, played, danced. Oh, that's so cool to think even when the waters came up, when everything was creation was coming out, think about that vine that we saw, even as it came forth from the ground, it did a little dance before God. And I think that's so cool. David danced joyfully when he was in the presence of God. He danced to the music because these words just weren't enough. I mean, he had to get with it. I don't think he was flossing. But I think he gave it everything he got. I'm sure it looked ridiculous, but he did it to glorify God. When Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me," he was talking about you, your age. And I just don't think he sat there all proper and lectured them. I'm sure he sat right down with them, and he played with them, and he showed them his love in very interactive ways. Boys and girls, you were made to play. Enjoy that. Be silly, not stupid. Be silly. Okay? There's a difference. All right? No hospital trips. And so, be silly, play, enjoy, delight, and take in this thing, enjoy it in. And so, because I know that's what God made us to be. Number 2, you're probably not going to like this one so much. You were made to work. I just heard the collective. You do that all the time. Now I know if I need chores done, I now know where to go. You were made to work, and this is for real. You were made to work. There's this desire. Yes. So when mom and dad ask you to do chores, you're supposed to smile a little bit. Because this is what you're made to do. Hey, for the grown-ups in the room, we were made to work. For the guys in here, that's why we're ready. We were made to get up and do things. We were made to get up and go. That's why a lot of the guys even like to mow the yard. We were ready to get up and work. We were made to put us to use, because even we know this, that throughout creation, we were made to work. Sin calls us to work harder and do unnecessary things that it wasn't intended to be. But even before that, we were made to work. Adam and Eve got to name the animals. God provided the fruit, but they still had to pluck it. We're made to work. We can have joy in the work that we do. So when mom and dad ask you to scrub the toilets, we can do that. When mom and dad ask you to do the laundry, we can do it with a joyful song. You were made to work. We weren't just made to sit. Because that's both in this play and in this work. And you know what? You were also made to worship. That's number 3. You were made to worship. And worship's kind of this thing that kind of blends in like all of those. It kind of works its way in through play. It weaves its way out through work. Because you can do all of those things in worship. Now this worship that happens behind me, this is awesome. How many times do you get to worship with a live band that's here every single day, multiple times during the day? It's so cool. Take that in. But this is not the only time we worship. We give worship in everything that we do. It pours out through us. We worship in the good times. Hey-oh, school's out. And we're going to worship again in August. When school starts back. Oh, yeah, I know. But we are going to worship with everything that we've got. And so, hey, I want to encourage you this week. This is my little challenge for you. This is kind of a little side note. And so I love it. I know it's day 2. We're warming up a little bit. Here's what I want you to do. Hey, when we sing these songs, When this band plays out, you get a chance to come in here, whether if it's in the morning, if it's in the nighttime, at any point during the day. Hey, I want you to come in here, and I want you to sing with everything you got. It says make a joyful noise. It does not say make a pretty noise. It says make a joyful noise. That means with exuberance. David danced silly, and guess what? You can sing with everything you got. Let's not care about what the people think around us. And you know what? If it feels good to sit there and put your hands in the air and surrender, I want you to do it. Okay, the Lord takes joy in that. Because that's a surrender thing. This means, Lord, I'm not giving in to myself. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to give it all I got. Let's not care what's going on around us. Let's sing these really, really, really amazing songs and sing it to the Lord. Let's give it to Him. Let's give it up and let's do all that we can. So sing aloud. Fill this room. You know, let's bring the noise. And let's do it with the glory. Let's worship. So let's worship while we act silly and play. That we build things using our gifts. As we draw, as we go outside, and as you play tag and sharks and minnows and all the other silly games in Renck. Lord, let's glorify and say, Lord, this is for you. This is for you. And let us go do the chores and say, Lord, I'm so happy that I get a chance to do this because I am so happy for this home that I have. I am so happy that I can have these things to do. I'm so happy. It's not perfect, but Lord, thank you for what you've given me. I'm so going to give you everything I've got as I scrub. Let's give it all we got. Because here's something I want you to know. You were made in His image. And so all of these things, if this is what you were made for, it's kind of this two-way thing. That means all these ways that I described you describes our Heavenly Father. This is how you were made. I want to move this for a second. And so I got something I'm going to get. I'm going to grab it here. Ha. What is this? Okay. This is a mirror. And I'm sorry if I blind somebody, I'm going to try to name it down. Okay? But if you got these, by chance, do you have one of these at home? Yeah. Okay, they look a little different. This is really cool. This is from our prop closet here. But look at this. When you look in a mirror, what do you see? Yourself. Your reflection. I'm sure we spend a lot of time looking at this, don't we? I bet if I ask your camp leaders, they will say otherwise. And I'm really curious for what the boys have to say. Yeah, you got it. You're flexing in this mirror. I know it. I've taken boys to camp. I've stayed in your bunkhouses. But hey, can I ask you this question? Look here. Look here. All jokes aside, look here. When you look in this mirror, when you look in that mirror that may be in your room, in your restroom, in your camp bunkhouse, this is for real. Do you like what you see? Don't answer. Don't answer. Keep it to yourself. Do you like what you see? Do you like it? Because here's the thing. We are all going to struggle with what we're going to see in this mirror. There's one part of us that we're not going to like. And so, I don't like the fact that I've gained weight. Wednesday, boys and girls, you're going to drink a milkshake, and it's going to hang on to you. It's going to happen. I don't like that part. But here's the thing. All of you are going to look, when you look in that mirror, and I know we're acting silly, right? It's what we're made to do, but when we're alone, and we're looking in that mirror, I bet we struggle with something. In fact, I know that there's something. And even if you think, no, there's nothing wrong with me, we might actually spend way too much time looking at that mirror. Because the problem might be we're actually obsessed with what we see. We're too focused on ourselves. You know, and I just want to share with you, as we're telling these stories, And as we're talking about who you are and what you're meant to be, one of the things that we want to do is I just want to show you that I hate that you feel that way. I hate that you feel that way when you look in that mirror and you don't adore with what you see. That you don't speak up with thinking about that confidence. That you actually will walk away looking with your head hanging low instead of with our head up. And we can do this when we know that we're the child of a king. When we have his last name. Because here's this thing. See, there's this ugly, ugly thing called sin. It's horrible. It's nasty. It's disgusting. It's like a disease. And this disease comes from all the way back in the beginning of the Bible. When God made Adam and Eve, when he made the first two humans, when he made everything, you see, he said, go where you want, do what you want. Eat where you want, except for one thing. How would you like just to have one rule? And God said, don't touch the tree of knowledge. Just don't do it. Don't go near it. Don't be around it. That fruit is not for you. Because you'll see things that you don't want to see. Don't touch it. Have everything else, don't touch that. And we see as we listen to Genesis chapter 3, we see the snake. We see the enemy that begins to whisper. And it's going to whisper to say, hey, you know what? That God lied to you. He lied to you. Hey, if you eat that, you'll actually be like God. You'll be him. You'll get his power. Don't you want that? And Eve listened, and then she acted. You know what? I do want that. And she touched it, she plucked it, she ate it, and then she shared it. And at that point right now, we saw the first disobedience. We saw the very first sin. I like to say that our hearts, like they just sang songs, like we were made to worship, right? Our hearts, even without it, it's just on repeat. And it was so loud. And then the moment that fruit touched our lips, the moment that it hit our fingertips, the song kind of switched from going this way to this way. Oh, I'm the greatest thing ever. I am the most amazing. Nothing else in this world is greater than me. That was what our heart song did. It turned back inward. And it kind of blinded us to everything that God had laid out for us. Sin, and it gets in your heart and it sticks. And it's been there ever since. But I love what God does for us. He loves us. He loved us so much that he gave a promise. He gave it to this guy, Abraham. And Abraham, he said, guess what? I'm going to save Abraham, I'm going to save your heart. I'm going to take the sin out. And then I'm going to save the world. That's what I'm going to do for you. Because I love you. And I saved your heart, and I'm going to do it through a Messiah. I'm going to do it through a Savior. But in the most amazing way, he gave us Jesus. He gave us Jesus, who came to save us by paying the ultimate price, by dying on a cross. He did it by dying on a cross. And I'm so happy to declare to you that after they put him in the tomb, and after a few days, ticked off the clock, 3 to be precise, that rock rolled open and Jesus walked out. He defeated death. He paid the price for your sin. So you don't have to sing this song anymore. Because you see, when these blinders go up to ourselves, we lose our direction. Our little true north that we talked about gets a little tilted. And we start thinking about what's best for me. And when I start thinking about what's best for me, I'm going to fall flat on my face. I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to catch myself in situations that's going to get me hurt. It's going to get other people hurt. And you know what? I've got mine. And when I start tilting my thing off anything away from Jesus, when I start up, I'm heading toward a path anywhere away from Him. And hey, boys and girls, these decisions we make, these things we do have eternal consequences. And so I want you to know, as you sit here, I know your direction may be a little off. You've been running. You got a home life that's not pretty. You're thinking like, I've been dealt a heavy hand. I don't like what's going on around me. And everything that I do is pushing me away. I want you to know it doesn't have to be that way. It does not. You can run back. And here's the thing. Here's the best part of it all. You don't have to try to say, I'm going to twist that needle back to true north and then go to Jesus. You go to Jesus first, and then He sets you straight. You come to Him with everything you got, and you say, Lord, I want you to take my life. I have this sin that's buried down deep inside. It's making, I can't stand it anymore. Everything I do hurts me. It hurts others. I'm tired of lying. I'm tired of cheating. I'm tired of hurting. I don't know why I am so angry all the time. Oh, and then there's this lonely. Hey, there's hope. And here's the thing. We're laying it out for you. We want you to have this hope. Christ came and died for you to have this hope. He died for the entire world. And hey, there's another part of Genesis 3 that I didn't share. When He laid out the punishments for sin, when He talks about in Genesis 3:19, He says, your sin is death. When you're death, you are separated from God. You are separated from Him. And when that time happens, and when God gave you that breath, and when He takes it back, you're still going to be separated from Him. I want you to think about how awful that's going to be. But here's the thing. When He dished out that punishment, when He talked to Adam, He talked to Eve, He also talked to the snake. And when He talked to the snake, He says, you know what? You bit my heel. But you know what I'm going to do? Crush your head. You are defeated. I am going to win. That's what the Lord said. So these things that you've got going on, He will win. He will win. So my challenge to you tonight, don't let this sin have control over your life anymore. In just a moment, we're going to have an invitation. And when we have this invitation, this band's going to play. Your adult leaders are going to be in the aisle, just like the other 9. And I want you, that's going to be your time to make a move. There's never been a greater time for you to make a move. Again, this is just like that hand raise moment. I want you to say, I don't care what's going on over here. I don't care what's going on over there. Lord, I'm so tired of feeling this. Lord, I'm going to my leader. And I'm going to you now. Lord, show me what I need to do to have this life, to have this gift. And you know what? We're going to show you. We're going to show you Jesus. Because I know right now there's some who has this little who the Lord is starting to stir in you. But here's going to be the other thing, y'all. Here's going to be the other thing that snake whisper is going to be going on too. You don't need it. You don't need it. Don't move a muscle. You know, it's better the way it is. Is it really going to get better? You know what I can tell you to that? You say, not today. Because it is better. Because you know why he's saying that? He's lost. He's been defeated. The moment that that tomb rolled open, he declared victory over that snake. And I want you to have victory. I want you to declare Jesus as your one and only Savior. So that band's going to come. I want to invite the band up. Don't waste this moment. Okay? As soon as we start, I want you to dip. And I want you to grab that leader. And I want you to come. If you just need to come forward, come forward. But I want you to grab that adult leader. They're going to be so close to you. And I want you to say, show me Jesus. Show me Jesus. And you know what? Every single person in this room is going to be rooting you on. We're going to give it all we got. So let's bow our heads. Let's bow our heads. Let's ponder these words. Let's not distract those around us. Because that person next to you, they're going to need this moment. Let's focus in on our Lord. Lord Jesus, I pray for your voice here tonight. I pray for your presence. Lord, in this crowd, there are boys, there are girls, and they're hurting. And they feel lost. They feel like a leaf on the ocean. They're getting tossed around. They feel beaten. They feel worn out. And they're seeking. They know that there's a truth. Lord, I pray for them to know you tonight. And I pray for every single boy and girl here, God, that they will act. That they will not wait another minute. That they will give everything they've got to stand up, to talk to their leader, and Lord, to go make a move. To say that tonight is enough. I want a new story. I'm tired of the heartbreak. I'm so tired of feeling this way, Lord. Show me. Lord, I pray that they declare and their new stories begins tonight. And they can see you for a way that they've never seen you before. They see you as Savior. That they have a new life. And Lord, they can know you for everything they are. Lord, move tonight. We lift this to you.